Well, Dave, today is technically the official day for the position players now to report. Just obviously they've been here for a good amount of time now. What have you been seeing for them, and just kind of what do these next few weeks look like for them preparing for opening day in Tokyo?
I think the first thing that stands out is the early arrivals. There's a lot of guys that showed up early, anxious to get to work. Everyone looks great. There's certain guys, Freddie and Will, namely, that are a little bit behind. But outside of that, everyone's in a good spot.
So mentioning Will, I'm just how is he doing?
He's doing fine. He ran yesterday on that Ultra G. So I don't know when he's going to kind of be a full participant. Once he starts kind of the running progression. So I don't know if he's going to start the first day of Cactus League games, but it'll be shortly thereafter. But he's in a good spot.
What's Will been dealing with?
It just his little ankle's been sore. But nothing. It's just more of a sore ankle. Yeah.
Dave, you're obviously, how are you?
Great. Thank you.
Defending champs. You got to kind of calibrate these guys. Like obviously they're professionals, but to have them focus on what's ahead instead of looking like we got a repeat, or like how do you do that and manage through that with guys?
Certainly, it's a look ahead in the sense of trying to sustain a level of standard that I think that we've done a good job of. And I just think that we're as good as anyone in baseball at putting the blinders on and getting better each day with respect to expectations. And I think that managing high expectations that we have every year, I think that our guys do a really good job of doing that, which as a byproduct guards against like any type of letdown.
What do you look forward to seeing this spring as past springs, but with the roster that has been built now?
I'm looking forward to see how guys get along. I'm looking forward to watching Outman and Pages continue to grow, kind of figuring out, where to put Tommy Edman. Kim we got from the KBO, and just kind of seeing how he looks coming over here to the States. Obviously managing the starters and building them up. The guys in the pen that we've talked about that we need to build up, and just kind of seeing how it all comes together. Obviously there's a lot of good pieces, and just kind of making sure everyone's raring to go at the right time.
Did you have your team meeting, your start of spring meeting today?
That's tomorrow.
Okay.
That'll be tomorrow. Addressed the pitchers a few days ago with certain things, but tomorrow is where we sort of get everyone together.
Andrew said that you guys probably go 5-man rotation to start the season. What does that mean for guys like Gonsolin and May? We'll come back from injury, kind of fighting for that last spot.
It's going to be interesting. They are fighting. I think that with Shohei obviously not available early with the off days, there's still certainly a bullpen spots. We got a couple guys that are not going to start the season with us, so there's opportunities to make the roster. So I just don't know. I don't think anyone really knows how it looks, but to your question, those two guys are going to get a lot of opportunities to go out there and perform.
The Yankees seem to have some bruised feelings about comments that a couple of your players have made. And Aaron Boone said that if they were to win a World Series, he would hope they would handle it with a little more class. What was your reaction when you heard that?
Aaron is always going to defend his players, which he should. I can't speak for the players, and I do think that once you're on a podcast right after World Series, there's a lot of emotions, and I do think that in past World Series, if guys had to get on podcasts, there was a lot more candor, honesty. So Aaron's going to protect his players, and that's sort of about it. I don't think that we're talking about it over here.
Do you guys have like a policy for like guys getting tanked and going on podcasts?
Clearly not. Clearly not.
Dave, if Gonsolin or May doesn't end up in the 5th spot in the rotation, could one of them be a candidate to maybe be long reliever in the bullpen?
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think that right now, at this point, they're both building up. They're both viewing themselves. We're viewing them as starters, and we'll see how the rest of the spring plays out, which obviously is a long ways away. And that's really not impacted until opening day here in the States. So we got a lot of time.
With a short off season, you did some traveling. Went to Japan. You did some other things in the off season. How fresh do you feel now after kind of a shortened off season, but you did a lot? Do you feel like
Very fresh,
Yeah.
very fresh. It's ironic because it was such a shortened winter, but I'm refreshed. I maximized the off season, and I think all the guys feel the same way. Kind of given guys showing up early, and which you wouldn't think, but that's just kind of I think people are just really excited about our ball club.
With second base still on Saturday, how do you plan to distribute opportunities among Haesung Kim and Edmund and Kike during this camp?
Yeah, I just think that move them around. I think Kim's gonna take some balls at second, take some balls at third, take some balls in center field. I think Kike will take some balls kind of in the same positions, and Tommy is more of second base and center field.
Where does Chris Taylor fit into that?
Chris will probably take him at second, third, center, and left. And I think that he's always been a Swiss Army knife, and that's just kind of his value, really.
Andrew said you guys are still talking about an extension for you. Is that something you want to try to get some resolution on before the end of camp?
I'm very hopeful that it'll get done. Obviously, you know, I love being here. I haven't, you know, shied away from that. So I'm confident it's going to get done. And right now, being here, I'm just really focused on these guys and pouring into them and just trying to get better and do something really special for this 25 club. But like I said, Jack, I'm very optimistic.
Shohei had no activity yesterday, so it often happens in this spring training.
You know, I'm not sure yet. It's all contingent on how he's feeling. I would say the next week he'll be active, but if there's a day later that he has an off day, that could happen. I just don't know yet.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dave.